Well, it is a new year, and lower mortgage rates are prompting buyers to hit up open houses across the country. Barbara, you know this better than anybody. Very hot real estate market. This week, the average 30-year mortgage, fixed mortgage, I should say, rate declined to its lowest rate since October. So the question is 2020 the year to buy?
Well, it depends. If you have more money, of course.
Yeah.
But prices have gone up 3.7% in response to interest rates in November coming down 1%. What a reward. You bring interest rates down 1% and prices go up 3.7%. So who's the winner in that equation? Is it the buyer? I'd have to do the math. I suspect the buyer kind of loses, even though you have cheap money around, right? Yeah, but everybody's in the mood for buying a home. The job market supports it, and people take that for granted now. Everyone's focused on the interest rates, but the kissing cousin to the real estate market is always the job market. You get good job reports, you get good real estate, okay? And prices are going to continue to go up, no doubt about it.
There is that one concern, too. We've had real estate experts come on the show and talk about the idea that lower interest rates may be fueling not necessarily a bubble like the one we saw before, not anywhere close, but the idea that potentially if you do have interest rates move the other way, what could happen to all of a sudden a lot of people caught in a different position?
Well, that's always a question of how gradually you move those rates. I mean, if they go up radically in a period of 6-9 months, that's a problem. But traditionally, everyone's always been cautious with interest rates. You're either going to have cheap money to buy your house, or you're going to have expensive money and a cheap price.
Yeah.
Take your choice. They're both evil. Okay, but still people want to have a house. But to this report, what is interesting to me is I had no idea there was any kind of a report out there that actually counts bodies at open houses. And it's the single best statistic to dictate next year's market. And I'll tell you why. When I was running the Corcoran Group, I kept a careful count every Sunday of how many bodies came into every open house. And when they ticked up by 30%, I increased my spending immediately by 30%, knowing I'd have 30% more commissions coming in. It never failed to be the perfect gauge to dictate what was going to happen in the future. Open houses are when people put their toe in the water and they go, let's just go and have a look, honey. That's the beginning of a surge. And so I'm shocked that there's even a housing report out there. Thank you for introducing me to it.
Well, based on that, I mean, you're saying that 2020 is shaping up to be
It's going to be a fabulous year if we start out the year with an uptick in open houses, unless something drastically goes wrong. The only thing wrong that can affect the market from the outside, other than interest rates, is a war. And I wondered if this past Sunday what the open house rates were really like when everybody was frightened, everyone was staying home, and everyone was expecting the sky to fall. All right, that's the one thing that stops everything, and that's the most frightening thing to even have on your mind.
And
really.
That's something that the data wouldn't necessarily show either. That's something that could come out of nowhere and completely change.
Rain stops it too.
Yeah, or weather.
I don't like to shop in the rain.
No, whether it's houses, whether it's food, whether it's anything out there, of course.
Yeah.
But we did another interesting report. I mean, if you like that report, this one's actually, to me, also fascinating. A new report finds that single women routinely lose out on real estate when compared to men. According to a study from Yale, female investors pay up to 2% more for property than men on average and sell for 3% less. There's also interesting data in that same study pointing to worse mortgage rates as well. So, I mean, taking all that away, does that surprise you at all? You've been in real estate for a long time.
I'll tell you, I read that report. It was so complicated, I'm not sure I got it. It was pretty sophisticated, these Yale people, the way they write. I don't get it, okay? But I can tell you one thing. As a real estate agent from years of experience, women don't negotiate as strongly as men, period. It's just the nature of the beast. A woman wants to be fair-minded and more pleasing in negotiations so that women, when they sell homes, if this report is reporting, it's probably accurate, get 2%, they pay 2% more for the house, I think was the number, and they get 3% less when they're going out than the single male. It makes sense to me because I have worked with women and men my whole life, and I can tell you, I push women to be more aggressive, whereas men, I'm usually pulling back to be less aggressive. It's just the nature of the beast. I believe that's what explains that difference, only that.
Yeah, I mean,
don't get upset by that. You're an aggressive woman. I'm not worried about you. You're a killer, I could tell.
Yeah.
But most women are uncomfortable pushing the envelope in an aggressive way, especially when it comes to something as personal as a home. They classify that home as where I live, not like, let me get the money out of this guy.
Not a business asset, perhaps, or something like that. And it's interesting, too, because we've seen you do that on Shark Tank, too. You've told female founders who have come in and started to cry, don't bring your emotion in here.
Don't have a woman cry over me. I've wanted to cry my whole life at different things that have happened. I go home and I cry. But when those entrepreneurs come on Shark Tank, which fortunately doesn't happen that often, start crying, oh, you must believe in me. I put my heart and soul into this. I'm like, I'm going to kill this person if they don't stop crying.
Immediately done.
No
immediately shut down. Yeah, and I'm not sure that would help in this study.
They never get the money from anybody, not just me, but from the guys either.
So just generally, it's not you just saying personal preference, it's across the board advice. Do not cry because it will not go your way. There you go,
But you
Kristin.
can cry, by the way, because it would be refreshing.
I never cry.
Oh, yeah. Well, I never show my emotions, so there we go. Hey, investors, Zack Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.